Devcast, plugging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet games. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet game. Your direct access to the future right here, right now.
Hello, everybody. Hello. It is Thursday, the 28th of November. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Good to see you all. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for our Devcast, which this week is a flip special. Tied in with Thanksgiving, tied in with all the usual jibber jabber, chitter chatter from your favourite multiverse devs. And I hope you're pleased out there. Yeah, well, I had complaints this week. They didn't like the jingle.
I know.
So I changed it. So yes, we did have a couple of versions. The one you've just heard was actually originally my favourite, but then I couldn't get it working, so I tried the other one, which stuck. But I have changed it to the second one now. Kind of a music hall vibe, old school. Let us know your thoughts. If you can do better, send us your entries. We shall maybe look through them, and you might hear your work here on the now infamous Devcast. How are you, Sam?
I am awesome. Obviously, I am very thankful and I'm very giving, and I am thanked and given to. So it's awesome. I'm just like in such a good space. I mean, our big Thanksgiving present obviously is the Flip update, which you've got, and also the loot boxes and the fruit. Lots of fruit, lots of zombies. I mean, you choose. If you like one, go for one. If you like the other, go for the other. If you like both, go for both.
Both topics of which we shall be discussing today. Thanksgiving's a weird one. I don't understand why it hasn't come over here yet. It really hasn't. I mean, Black Friday's arrived. That never used to be a thing, but that is now here. But yeah, it's never.
Well, Thanksgiving doesn't make enough money because everybody's already spent their money for Christmas. So it's like and turkeys aren't a big thing. And,
I thought Thanksgiving was bigger than Christmas. Is that completely misconception?
That is bigger because it's the time where everybody gets together. I mean, Christmas is big. That's when you get your presents. But Thanksgiving is the family time. It's
I like the
opportunity to have the fight with your family before Christmas.
Yeah. No, I like the concept of it. But
I don't.
No?
No, I'm Danish at heart, and our Christmases are just so hoogly that we don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Sitting around a Christmas, we actually dance around an actual Christmas tree with actual candles on that are alight. So I know everybody thinks that's completely nuts and crazy. Yep. Yes. We have flaming cats rambling around. But the actual a real Christmas tree, no plastic.
Oh, always.
With real candles on and lit by like actual fire and like flaming, I don't know, everything. And walking around with alcohol that we obviously have a high percentage of alcohol within. And therefore, tripping over the Christmas tree leads to a nice singed hairdo.
So I would do that. I would like that, but we just haven't got room. Like our tree has to be pushed into the corner. I was literally saying yesterday, you see in Japan they have those watermelons that are grown as like cubes, so you can stack them. They should do Christmas trees that are like a corner shape, so you can fit them in the corner of the room.
You've completely misunderstood. The whole point is to have it in the center of the room and move everything else out. So the idea that you want to put it in the room with everything else in the room means that you completely misunderstood the whole concept.
But we can't even get in the room ourselves then.
You've got to dance around the Christmas tree. I literally had Christmas last year with my son's girlfriend's family who are American from Arizona. And they came round and we were sitting having a lovely meal. The Christmas tree was there. There were real candles on it. And they kept on eyeing them sort of suspiciously. And then we got to the point of the evening where we actually get up and dance around the Christmas tree. And I said, okay, we're going to get up and dance around the Christmas tree. And the father sort of laughed as if I'm making one of my silly jokes. And I said, no, we actually are. And you can see his face changing from, oh my God, this is a really funny joke, to this is a joke he's taking too far. But wait a minute, this is a joke.
And are they still together, your son and girlfriend?
Yes.
Are they coming back
good.
this year?
But it was great. We actually danced around the Christmas tree in a very sort of cultish,
I can hear that talk.
crazy.
As soon as they got
manner.
home, they sat down and go, right, listen, we don't really want you seeing that family. I mean, the boy's okay, but the dad, I mean, no, next year at our house, right? Right, anyway, on with the show. Well, yeah, let's segue from Thanksgiving into the multiverse side of things quickly before we go on to the big event of the flip giving, big event of the day. So yes, hopefully some of you will have enjoyed the Thanksgiving parade this morning over in the cinema room. We had a live stream of the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, a little bit rainy from the streets of the Big Apple there, but nevertheless it looked a great event, so we were pleased to be able to put something on that you could see that and enjoy it from the comfort of your living rooms rather than having to go out on the streets. And yeah, as part of Thanksgiving, starting today, around about the time we're on air now, going on all weekend, we have a loot box Thanksgiving event. Fruit Loot! The name just fell into place, really. Zan, what's Fruit Loot?
Yes. So basically, we've got this crazy idea that we thought that if we allow people to enjoy the loot boxes by increasing the amount of loot in them, that would be absolutely awesome. So we looked at various different options. We looked at increasing the number of loot boxes, increasing the loot, increasing the type of loot, increasing the type of loot people like the most, deleting all the loot boxes, deleting everybody's avatars and personas. No, we looked at the fun things of giving people more. And we came up with a plan to basically give people a lot more fruit, because fruit is fruity and ultimately gives you experience points. So if you're new to Multiverse and Infiniverse and don't know what we're talking about, inside Infiniverse, which is the big open world city universe thing that we've got where you buy buildings and houses and apartments and storefronts, in there you can get loot boxes, you can find them. There are always thousands in the world. I'm not going to tell you exactly how many because, well, that's just not cool. But there are always many thousands of these loot boxes strewn around the whole world. It is a very large world, so saying thousands and then just saying they're always there strewn around, you're not going to stumble across one just around every corner, but you will be able to find them. You'll also be able to hear them. So you'll be able to hear sort of like tingly sounds somewhere and follow the route to them. And when you get to them, if you've got a key, you can unlock the box. And inside the box, you get 5 different types of rewards, right? What are they?
Indeed. You get mushrooms, potions, crystals, candy, fruit.
There we go.
Candy, fruit, there we go. And the fruit is the one we focused on. We have doubled the likelihood that you are going to find fruit inside a loot box.
That does not mean that every box will have fruit in it, does it?
No. So we have little weighted algorithms, and of those 5 types, each type has a probability of appearing. Some are rarer and some are more common than others. So we have simply doubled the likelihood that of the items inside your box, one or more of them will be fruit. So get looking. Now we have seen lots of reports of, I can't find any loot boxes. I've been looking for hours. There's no loot boxes. We know you're lying. We've got a little log which tells us how many loot boxes have been opened and who by. So we can see people who are saying they haven't found any. We can see that they've already opened several tens, if not more, already. And even if that one person who's posted it, many other people are opening them. So we do know they're there. We do know they are working. We haven't had any issues yet with them disappearing, with them not spawning, not respawning. So I'm afraid if you can't find them, it's just bad luck that you haven't stumbled across any yet. So head out.
I don't think we should say that. I think we should say it's just not even bad luck. It's just you're not looking.
Head out to the far reaches. Look, they are spread around the whole world. So find a little place that's maybe a little hidden corner. Head out to places which you think aren't populated. In the middle of the countryside, you'll find them. So find those little areas where
underwater.
Underwater, some of them will be as well. So they are there, I promise you. and you can get double that fruit, double that XP for the duration of this Thanksgiving
What is it
weekend.
that you want XP for? Because I keep forgetting like the whole thing. So we give you fruit. Fruit can be eaten. When you eat fruit, you get XP. XP increases your level, which is above your head. When you gain a level, you get what?
You see, I'm putting this face on because I know I'd said that I just don't want to talk about XP and loot today. I'm bored of it. It's supposed to be a flip special. But for the sake of answering the question, I will say the XP, it increases your XP, which increases your level, which gives you more keys and metacoin. Every time you level up, you will get keys. You'll get a number of keys depending on your subscription level. The higher your level, the more keys you will get. Therefore, the more boxes you can open and the more
Therefore, the higher you
metacoin
get.
bonus
And it's a big loop of fruit.
you will get. And you get a nice little star, little blazon above your head showing your level, so you can show off just how in the OG you are in the whole scheme of things. So it's a great way to adding gameplay elements and fun. And on a fun little note, to say that we are going to be changing up things or adding new stuff in very, very soon, as we alluded to last week. The joy of this system is all of those toys, those avatars, those accessories, they can be updated, changed at will. So with a big Christmas coming up, look out for some changes coming very, very soon. Some fun stuff.
Some fun stuff. Let's see if we don't have enough fun stuff already.
Never have too much fun, says the man who dances around a Christmas tree. But yeah, so the main thing as build is the flip. We have finally launched today the long-awaited update to our game, The Flip. So what I'm going to do now is play you a little trailer to get a little brief taste of what is in there. So those of you who haven't played The Flip, it will give you an idea of the game as a whole, and those of you who have, you will see some changes in there, which will hopefully encourage you to head off and play. Yes?
Go for it.
Oh, right.
I want to see the trailer.
Okay, where is it? Here we go. There we go. Just a little brief glimpse of what you can expect. So there are three, I guess, main things of this update. Let's go through them all one by one. Do you want to pick a change?
Let's talk levels. Levels are the big one. Let's talk levels.
We have 2 brand new levels. They are set within the same Flip City. And some small parts of them you may recognise because all the pathways through the city do interlock, but we have some brand new locations that we've opened up for these levels, and they're awesome. They are just friggin' awesome, these levels. One will take you through into a sort of a construction site area, then up over the rooftop, down onto a brand new pier, dockyard sort of thing, out onto the pier to get the exfil. The second one takes you right underground into a destroyed underground station, where it's disorienting, you can't find your way out, and boy do those zombies just attack. These levels, they are the buzzword that we've used is verticality. You go up, you go down, repeat. Some awesome views, some awesome horde attacks, and it's just a brilliant addition, I think, to the levels that we already had.
I think when you and me and Jake were playing together, we did a live stream, didn't we?
We did, yes. I should try.
Yeah, we played those out to death, and it was awesome. I remember you screaming consistently
I did. Yeah, I mean, and with the flip, we have tweaked it so that the higher your XP in the flip, then the harder it gets, the more hardcore, the more those tanks come out. So the three of us, obviously, our devs, we played a lot. We have a fairly high combined XP, and so it was an onslaught, pretty much a bloody onslaught of those zombies. They do just keep coming at you. There's bottlenecks, there's places you can't get out, you're just attacked by them. I think all of us died many occasions trying to get through these levels. But and to add in that funness, there are barrels galore. I think Jake, who made in particular the level down by the pier, he has hidden a lot of barrels, a lot of big barrels, all around, little Easter eggs for you to find. So go hunting and blow up those zombies. It is just awesome fun and a really good, I think, a good demonstration really of what this Flip City is and the different locations and how the same place can feel so very different, whether you're underground, overground, zip lining across. It is pretty cool.
There are a couple of things to mention around this. Obviously, the Flip is our game that we launched, and it's available in the MediQuest store. You've got to go buy it. It's an absolutely awesome game. Go in, go buy it. You can play with friends. It's co-op. So up to 4 players can go into a mission together and play, shooting zombies, getting from point A to B. Basically, you infill, shoot zombies, destroy nodes, and get to chopper, exfil zone, and exfil, and go back to the lobby. That's the loop, and the level is about, what we say, about 10 to 15 minutes long. That's sort of the experience. So these levels are absolutely fantastic. I think now we've got how many total? Something like 13 in there.
It's either 12 or 14, I think.
Yeah. So it's in that range. And the other thing that we're doing is that we're adding more levels on top, but these are special. These aren't just a new level. These are taking the old levels, and because so many people were complaining about the fact that, well, not complaining, they were enjoying the game so much and saying that they wanted to stay in longer, we found a way of allowing them to stay in longer. So over the last few months, we've been building these levels that basically join up other levels to make longer, bigger, more special levels. And these ones are now available, and they join up between level 1 and level 3, or level 1 and 2, or something like, I can't remember the exact order, but you'll find these really long levels where there's more nodes to kill, destroy, more zombies to kill, and it takes about 30 minutes to complete. Obviously, depending on how skilled you are and whether or not you are Anthony Vampire. Who manages to either draw them out longer or get through them quicker. But yes, the game levels are now twice as long some places, and you will see these called out. They are special, very cool events that you'll have access to in the update, and absolutely awesome to play. Yeah, so if you wanted to get more XP and you were hanging on in there on the original levels with extra XP in mind because you wanted to get your score as high as possible, these ones allow you to do that double fold. So really boosts your score and gets you more XP, more levels much quicker.
Indeed, we've added these double length levels into the mix. When you get into that lobby and you head over to that end, you see those mission boards. All of the levels will now be on there cycling through. So you'll see the new names, you'll see the new ones you don't recognize, and they will be the new ones. So go and try them out. If you can't see one that is new, hang around. As you know, those missions repeat. I think is it 3 minutes or 5 minutes?
So they cycle, I think, every 5 minutes.
They cycle through, yeah. So wait for
ones on either side.
Yeah, chopper will come in, wait, it'll fly off, and a new one will come in. So wait around for the one that you want for the new stuff. So you can pick and choose. And I should also mention that we're still running, and have been running since the beginning, our special missions. So every week we have 12 special missions, and these are at peak times. You can look on the meta events page to see when they are, or in that mission board, in that lobby, there will be the bottom row of the mission board. So for example, there'll be a whole hour of Blood Moon where it's the red mist. There'll be a whole hour of hardcore, a whole hour of Duck Nuke where you only get the grenade launchers. So look out for those just as variants. That's 12 every single week. We run them on a cycle. And for that whole hour you will get those added special missions in. So the variety
just to clarify, when we talk about a mission, we have a level, and then we have missions, which are variations on that level, right? So we have variations on the objective, variations on the environment, the type of enemies, stuff like that.
Thousands of variations. So yes, the level is the route through the city that you take. So you'll start, say, maybe at the bus station and end over by the port, or you'll start in the shopping centre and end in the park. That is the level. And then we can tweak parameters, how many of each type of zombie. We've got the agiles, we've got the shufflers, we've got the tanks, what weapons are available, whether headshots account, the colour of the mist that comes down, whether it's nighttime. All of these combos make for so many, a gazillion variations. When you head onto that mission board, you'll see the little symbols, and these will indicate what type of things, whether it's increased clip size or reduced clip size,
harder enemies, bigger enemies, more. Exactly.
So look out for those little symbols and pick which mission you think will suit you.
So just to run through that again, because I want to make sure it's very clear. The game gets harder the more you play and the higher level you have. So if there is somebody like Anthony Vampire in your team, it's going to be damn hard, and he's going to have to be there to protect you. If you're all noobs, it's going to be quite simple, easy. You're going to see fewer zombies. It's not going to be quite as overwhelming, but the next playthrough, as you level up, will get harder and harder. So the game sort of has this exponential growth curve on difficulty, which happens regardless of all of the levels. That's right. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is we've got variations on the levels, which are the environment, like whether it's foggy, it's nighttime, whether it's daytime, all of these sorts of things, what sort of mist, clouds, and things. Secondly, whether or not the enemies are harder, and thirdly, what weapons you've got access to. So all of these things combine to create thousands of different levels and experiences. So pretty much any time you go in and play the game, you're going to have a different new experience that you haven't had before.
Yeah, it's a really incredible game. I think it's one thing that makes it stand out from other games that you get in other similar type shooting games, where it's the same but different. So you can always, even if you're by yourself, in with other people, that changes it. If you're with the team, if you're with buddies, if you're with people you don't know, if you strategize beforehand. If you hang around to get those XP points up, there's so many different ways of playing it, so many different ways people enjoy playing it, and they're all cool, they're all okay. You do hear people going, oh god, why are you hanging around, don't shoot the node yet, but that's how people enjoy it, and that adds to the whole experience of a social game, and making it worthwhile. Repeatability, playability is all there. So so to recap, we've got those 2 brand new levels. We've got 6 extended length levels, which are double the length of the previous ones for that absolutely hardcore players who want to stick around for even more guts and glory. And the final change that has come in with today's update is a brand new avatar. So as avatars, when you join, you're the standard default avatar. You can go and change your avatar at the little avatar station, at the customization station. And there are already, I've forgotten how many there are, 12?
Lots
of them already. And we've added a new one in. So we have added in Reginald. Now, I just realized I don't actually have a little, I should have uploaded the peak of Reginald. I can probably do it now while I'm talking. So Sam, you get going with Reginald, and I'll see if I can.
So Reginald is obviously the second zombie to enter the game. One of our most popular avatars is Fred, who is the shuffler. And if you know the game, you'll have worked out that there are the slow, shambling zombies, which are the ones that have the canisters on, easy to kill when there's just one of them. When there's hundreds of them, it gets a little bit harder. But the shambling zombies, we've got one of those in there as an avatar. He's called Fred. And he's available. People love him. He's one of the most worn avatars in the game. And then we're bringing in a new zombie. We're bringing in Reginald, who is one of these speedy, we call them agiles. And agile basically comes from the fast zombies that can run and jump and bounce around. So they're sort of parkour enthusiasts turned a zombie.
There we go. There he is. Apologies there. I had a little glitch with the interface you saw thing. But yes, there he is. There is Reginald, smiling for the camera, in his little photo pose there. So
exactly.
as you can customize him, you can change the patterns on his armor and change the patterns on his weapons over in that customization station. So yeah, there is Reg. Now the backstory that we have for Reg. So as you may know with Fred, Fred attended a seminar on the harmful effects of meat consumption. And ever since then, he's realised the error of his zombie ways, and he turned over to the Major General Sterling's side and the freedom fighters to join them in their fight. And if you do look around the app, the game, I believe there are a couple of posters advertising that same seminar somewhere around the city in case anyone else wants to attend. But Reginald, he realised that one of the flock of zombies had turned coat, had gone over to the fighter's side, and he in turn has infiltrated them, and he is trying to pretend to be good in order to bring Fred back and make him face punishment for having abandoned the zombie side. So yeah.
Couple of comments. One, I think you get way too excited by the backstory. Two, most of the people that I know that play the game, their brains would be considered vegetables anyway.
Ooh. But yeah, for a peek of Reginald before you play, do head into Multiverse and head into the Flip showroom.
Yeah.
That is currently being featured, so it should be on the feature door, and also is on the little side door that normally shows Zombie Town. Head in there and you will see a little version of Reginald lined up with the other avatars and have his backstory there. If you're interested, you can then play the game straight from that room. If you already own the game, then clicking on the door will take you straight to the app. If you don't own the game, it will take you to the App Store, that being the glory, as many of you know, of Multiverse and this idea of concept we have. We really cling to underlying everything of this interconnected world. You can head straight from our app to another app without having to exit, go back by your home room, load up the app again. So do click those doors.
Just to point out, though, we are also offering certain discounts. If you explore the app, you can find certain discount codes, can't you?
There are indeed. So when we launched the Flip back in April, we launched it with a set of Flip-themed apartments. I know many of you have got these. They are available for free. You can collect all 8. And in those apartments, you will find a discount code. So if you're new to the game, if you haven't got the Flip yet, do buy an apartment. Apply that Flip skin, so you press the customization panel in the room, click the Flip skin, and the whole theme of the room will change. And in that room there is a discount code that you can enter into the store and claim your discount. And while you're there, do look around those rooms. Each of those rooms, each of the 8 variations of the apartment rooms has different artwork, custom artwork, exclusive from the dev team, with development videos, concept art, bloopers of various things, which just gives a little insight into the process we took and the team behind making things. The mocap team, we had an amazing team of parkour experts to do the motion capture for the zombie movements. You can see them there sort of practicing with the motion capture suits. So yeah, make sure you have a look around those apartments, get their discount code, then head into the Flip, get the upgrade, and give it a play. It's a whole awesome ensemble affair which you can't miss. And heading to Multiverse today, heading into Grand Central, you will see it has all been set up for to promote this update. So the whole weekend there'll be nice Flip themed things in Multiverse. If you'd have a little look around and pique your interest. So do check out Multiverse, check out the Flip, and see what's going on, and we'll hope to see you there too.
So one last thing about Multiverse, I think we should just mention, because it's been mentioned to me in Discord in the background, is that we would like, or at least one of our OGs would like us to do a raffle of a number between 2 and 22. So I don't know whether I know you've done these things before.
Why 2 and 22?
Well, I'll tell you that in a second, but if you could just look into getting a random spinner or number up on the screen that we can press. I think you've done that stuff before. I will go into the backstory of why we need a raffle, because we are about to give away something on his behalf in the Devcast. So basically, I'd like to point out that Dave Lee Salt, who you probably know from inside the game, the king of the UK district. There we go. Respect. He has created something around his latest Rainbow Dragon. So on the Rainbow Dragon, which was just released recently and just hatched further, there are some brand new plots with views over the UK and the stunning lakes. And in one of these, he is giving away a penthouse to one of the 21 people that have purchased into the building. And he wants us to give that away in a raffle if we can today.
Okay. So it's 2 to 22.
Yeah, between 2 and 22. So 21 numbers, I think. That's my understanding anyway.
Okay.
To pick a number, any number between 2
on
and 22.
I am working on. Keep talking. I'm nearly there.
Okay. So yeah, if you don't know Dave, you should definitely head out to the UK district. It's an awesome district filled with loads of fun. I know he's been working on games and other things as well. So the UK district is a hub of activity. And in it, you'll find obviously various drops. I think we've had quite a few in that area. And the latest to land has been obviously the Rainbow Dragon, which is a stunning new addition to the Infiniverse world, definitely worth visiting. And I know that Dave has built some new plots with some views out over that dragon that are absolutely stunning. And in one of these, I think, if I'm right, he's got some cool skins on it. I don't know, but is it right? He's done the sci-fi skin? I can't remember. I'm getting confused now.
Don't know. I'm not seeing it yet. Sorry, I haven't figured out how to add new things without doing a little preview first. So some of you will see a little preview come up before I quickly hit it away. But yeah, that is now set up, I believe. Let me check 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Check all the numbers are there. 2, 3, 4, 5.
And
6,
Wendy's
7,
proving
8,
she can
9,
count.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, I might have missed one. You know how it is.
Okay.
I mean, I count with a 6-year-old most days, so we do generally tend to repeat some numbers and then skip over others. Okay, well, yeah, should we go ahead with that now then?
I think we should.
Right, so let's put that spinner on the screen. There we go. If I can just...
And just for the audience, so you know, I can't see the spinner, only Wendy can. And you can. So I've got no idea what's going on. She could be faking it. She could be cheating. You'll have to tell me.
They can see it. I hope they can. Okay, right, click to spin. There we go. It's spinning away. And it has stopped on number 19. The winner is number 19. So, oops. Oh, there we go. Can I... There we go. 19. Bit hastily done.
Brilliant.
Bit dodgily done. But that is the 19. There you go, Dave.
So yeah, my guess is that means number 19 is the 19th
floor 19, yep.
Yeah, floor 19 in the building, and Dave will be handing out the penthouse shortly. So I'll give you a shout. I think I've asked him to tell us if we know who that is. We'll announce the individual later if you get it. Otherwise, head on over to Dave, find out if you're floor 19, and get your penthouse.
Yeah, well, maybe it's a feature maybe. If you want anything to be included in the Devcast, if you want anything special to go on, let us know beforehand. Do drop us a line. And we'll pad out this crap with even more crap. You know, always welcome, always happy to oblige with things. So where are we up to on the things? Yeah, so back to the old Flippioni. Yeah, it's been a long time coming with the launch this May and then the update today. I know it's been postponed a few times just for various reasons in terms of timing and scheduling and what have you. Why is the Flip so great?
So the Flip is obviously our first step towards what we think is going to be the future of VR gaming. There's a couple of things that we're working on, and I can talk a little bit about that going forwards. But basically, we thought that when it came to shooters, and specifically shooters are one of the things that people like the most in VR. We felt that social was obviously the way to go, and a social shooter has to be something where it's easy to drop in, drop out with your friends, have action, have gameplay, have fun, and have that in and out flow. So that's pretty much what we focused on with the Flip. It's a game that you can drop in with your friends, you can join levels, you can quickly get in and out and team up without having to worry about menus and leaderboard, no, not leaderboard, you say, groups of players and having to join a session with a person. You literally drop into the lobby. The lobby can have up to 12 people in it. And then in the lobby, 4 of you or up to 4 of you jump on a chopper. There's always 2 choppers in the lobby. and you go and you play the game. Now, just to be clear, I think this has also drawn some confusion in the past. The chopper on the left, when you're looking at the board, is the chopper that has the regular levels. The chopper on the right is the chopper that has the extremely hardcore levels. And I know some poor noobs have gone into the one on the right and suffered horrifically as a result. So if you are in there with anybody and you see them heading towards the right and they look like they might have a low level above their head, then you might want to give them a shout, pat them on the shoulder and say, yo, dude, head over to that one first. But yeah, the levels are definitely easy to get into, great to play with your friends, and the cost, the impact of dropping out is very limited. So it's a very social game. Obviously, it's got VoIP, so you can talk to each other just like you can in Multiverse, and the experience is based on the same core underlying tech. Now, in the background, we as game developers obviously keep on thinking about what the future of these VR products are going to be. Where is VR heading? What is immersive? What is the future? And we've seen a lot of different companies go different angles. Some that we think are great games, but they're not necessarily the future of VR. When VR gets the real traction that it will have in a few years, we believe that that's going to be, I've got something going on. When VR gets the full traction of users, millions and millions and millions of users in VR, we think that we're going to be looking at something where we have not just a single user in VR playing a single player game, but we have millions of users playing, and the games are going to get bigger, broader, more like current console games. So we're thinking in our heads that we want to be able to take this towards something like Fortnite or Call of Duty. A game where you have a really easy drop-in, drop-out experience, but you can also play on a vastly large scope across a vast area of game world. And that's something that we're working on in the background. So if you have understood a little bit about what we've been talking about with the Flip, then you'll know that the Flip game world is vast, it's huge, but we've only carved out certain levels across it, and they crisscross across this huge world. And that's how people get to have a level experience as they play through it. But our idea for the future and the things that we're working on in the background are big open world games. So if you imagine Infiniverse, but you imagine it as a large open world, dystopian, apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic zombie haven, that is the sort of game that we're looking to build in the long-term future. And we got some of those demos up and running internally, haven't we, Wendy?
Yeah, indeed. And this is, I think, what makes us pretty cool as a company, and what we've built our core stuff on. So when we very first started, 8-9 years ago now, we started with the tech behind this. So Multiverse itself is built on proprietary tech that we have, that Chris, San, Ollie, that the coding team made themselves. This is a way of making worlds, of procedure generating the places quickly, of updating them very quickly. And for those of you playing Multiverse, it's great fun. You stamp down your buildings, you randomize your plots, and it's kind of a fun thing to do. But that ability to do that is something quite special. The ability to make those worlds, press build, and it's built there instantly in front of you. Or when we maybe want to change a skin, when we want to add something new in, it then procedurally runs out the whole world. So once you've got those core config files, those core sort of descriptive files done, you can literally press generate and it will make a whole new world. Press generate again, it will make a whole new world based on those same rules. So the proportion of buildings as opposed to parks as opposed to roads. And this is it's hard really to overstate how cool this stuff is, and what that we've made, and something that we own and that we have applied into these products that we're doing. And when you go through Infiniverse and you go through Flip City, you may not immediately notice the similarities, but once you do start looking, they are essentially exactly the same underlying world. They have different skins on them, different aesthetic appearances to them, but the street layouts, the building layouts, they're all there, they're all the same. So once we have this in place, as San said, this ability to then say, okay, let's take what we've learned from this, let's take this self-generating system that we've got, set out the parameters. So, okay, so we want a certain number of tall buildings, short buildings, a certain number of big roads, small roads, a certain number of safe houses, a certain number of zombie spawns, a certain number of loot boxes. Hit generate, and kaboom, instantly we have a world as big really as we want it to be, obviously subject to hardware limitations, which always dogging us, but really the possibilities are pretty much endless.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that makes it so exciting, is that if you could get to a place, which is what we're looking at for the next game, where we regenerate the world regularly, we could theoretically improve the game world while changing things out. So, for example, as an example, something we talked about is that maybe we flip up the game world. So every month, maybe there's a flip, and when we flip the game world, we regenerate the game world. And that concept has sort of stuck with us. We're looking at how that would be achievable. So we're looking at generating a massive open world game that could change every month. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to give access or pre-access, as we continue development, to players of the flip to that game world as we continue to develop it. So if the flip is exciting in any way or form for you, be aware that there is more coming, and that we will be giving access out to those people who play the flip.
Yeah, massive more. And just to address one of the, you guys know we've had our naysayers over the years. We've had those who are just, trying to constantly undermine everything we're doing. And one of the comments that's had is, you're spending all this time on the flip as opposed to multiverse, or multiverse as opposed to flip. But what we're kind of saying is we're not, that they're so inherently linked. So little things that we do for one then filter through to the other. So one thing, when we were playing around with this sort of flip massive world, was the ability of, you put a box on a hill and it's got to sit on the hill as opposed to sitting on the ground, and that's something over multiverse we didn't have. When you try and stamp certain statues, you'll see that if you're on a very hilly plot, they stick out a little bit. But we've now filtered that over, and we're introducing that in. And vice versa. So I think because it's basically built using the same technology and the same underlying things.
Yes.
There isn't. You cannot say we've done this just for the flip, or you've done this just for multiverse. Everything comes through.
The loot boxes themselves came about because of the fact that we had loot boxes in the flip where you could get weapons. So the fact that we have loot in multiverse is it's completely a derivative of putting loot boxes into the flip originally. And obviously, once we have them working in multiverse and infiniverse, that means that they'll work in a big open world as well, which they wouldn't from the flip. So the flip had ones that were good for a laid out city path, predefined, whereas infiniverse has them now able to be placed anywhere on the game world, which is exactly the tech that we need to be able to put loot boxes into an open world flip city.
And it doesn't. It's not a huge leap of imagination to then think, okay, so what else could this mean? So currently in Infiniverse, you can buy buildings and the size of them grows.
Yeah.
Take that over to the flip and think safe houses, building a particular area up. If you want to generate your own little kind of flip city, could you even make your own levels? This whole thing, I'm not saying this is in development right now, but it's possibilities when you lay that groundwork with such a flexible situation. You can really see how we've got this basis for this incredibly interactive, creative kind of thing. Thinking back when one of the first products that Chris worked on was Little Big Planet. Also one of the first big ones when he was with the Sony teams over at Media Molecule. And they had this, when they allowed users to create their own levels, it opened up this, and I think I'm right in saying it was one of the earlier sort of products to do that, to really sort of let people have that freedom to create your own stuff based on the core game tech. And you get shit levels there, you get penis levels, you get all that stuff. That's what happens when you get UG content, but that's okay, that's great. So once you start melding this Infiniverse multiverse, I mean, will there be one day you're wandering through Infiniverse, you're going through Paradise City, you're going through the Australia District, you're going through Utopia, and then suddenly you're in the flip and a zombie comes at you? Is it going to be that seamless integration? We don't know, but it's all there, and it's incredibly exciting. The kind of things that we're looking at here.
And one of the things that I get quite excited about is the whole flip idea, and the idea of regenerating the game world monthly. Because you could do something like in one flip, have mechanics that weren't present or in the other, or ones that were present in the other removed, so that the gameplay changes. So imagine just, for example, that you have zip lines across Flip City, which we have in the Flip. And those zip lines allow you to go up and down through buildings to give that verticality we're talking about, that we've added into the levels that are coming out this week. Imagine if we've got the ability to create a flip of Flip City, and in that we add or remove zip lines. And then the next one, we add or remove jetpacks. Or the next one, we make it so that it's more skyscrapers and more city and more dense. And another one we make is there's no cities and it's all villages and wilderness and lakes and mountains. That sort of thing is very possible with what we're going to be doing for looking at game 2. We're calling it Eclipse. So Eclipse is a little bit of an internal title that we've got. So when we say Eclipse, we're talking about Flip 2. Basically, that's a game world that will regenerate regularly, and we will have a vast open world game. And to be clear, those of you that don't know, open world means you can go anywhere. You can literally go left, right, north, south,
currently
east,
in
west.
the Flip, in the game that's out now, that's been updated today, you are limited to, you are taken on a path through the city. You can't cross through the barriers. You can obviously cheat a little bit and find little holes, and I know some of you have loved finding little loopholes and ended up in the kind of the deserted city, which hasn't been loaded in because the rest of the city isn't used for that level we've given you. In open world, there is nowhere that's not used. It is everywhere is populated, everywhere is decorated and set up and accessible and staged with all the scenery and the props that you need to play anywhere and everywhere. So you can't, if you're in a deserted street, look out, because it just means zombies are coming. It's not because they aren't in that particular area. And it also means this aesthetically as well. We can change the whole. So currently, Flip City is very much based on a sort of a London kind of dystopian London type city, very flat, with that sort of city-based skyline. But over in Finiverse, we already have different skins. We've got the cider skin, we've got the central, the Empire skin. So again, with a flip, with the press of that flip button, we can then change that entire skins out. We could transport you over to the far east. We could have different shaped buildings, different spies, different skylines, different market zones, bazaars to walk through, hilly areas like San say. We could just raise the entire buildings and in dense forest, with a few little farm buildings and barns. And this isn't. So what you get with typical games, when when the scenes or the world is staged, is pre-built, you have a large art team who is carefully placing down, I'm going to put a bin there, I'm going to put a lamppost there, and I'm going to put a spawn point there. And it labour intensive work, to create the scene, the levels that we did for the Flip. It means you can really get the details in there, but it takes a long time to make sure everything is custom. Every area is absolutely custom built. What you find people playing these games is that level of detail isn't as important as the having a larger world and just the whole kind of atmosphere of things. So what we've got with this procedural stuff is, once you've got those parameters set, once you know the frequency of the weapon boxes, the frequency of the lampposts, the frequency of trees as opposed to parks, as opposed to buildings, it does it all for you. And having played in our sort of development area, it's a small little chunk. It's hard to describe actually when you land in that world and you see the vista before you as the kind of the land sweeps down, and you know that the whole thing is playable. All of it, and every corner, every place you turn, and it the whole vibe and atmosphere and place, it is absolutely incredible. And that's just our mini little dev version that we're kind of mocking up to sort of test the concept. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, and the things that I remember is that when you play the Flip, there's this sort of inherent mad rush to be the first person through the level. because you want to get the score, you want to kill the zombies, and therefore everybody's rushing against each other to be at the front, which is inherently dangerous, but at the same time where the action is. And some people who might die or something like that fall back, and they find themselves sort of straggling along in an empty world, waiting to catch up with the players further ahead. Now, in an open world game like we've got with Eclipse and Flip City, that changes because you could just go a different direction. You can take a different street. You can go at a different angle. Somebody could be destroying a node over there, and you see a node over there, and you could be suicidal and go take that yourself. So the idea of being in a world where it really is your choice to explore is something that we're really taking seriously and looking at and seeing how that works with co-op. How do you find friends and players when you lose? How do you have your own game experience? And there's some crazy things, like you say, the experiences we've really had, even though what we've got at the moment is small by comparison, limited in scope. I remember the other day we added a church and I went in and played it, and there was this you walk down. First, we start at the top of the hill, so you got this view you don't get in the Flip, and you've got a view over everything like you can get in Infiniverse. But it's got more things. It's got trees, it's got buildings, it's got other things in it. And then you walk down and you say, okay, right, I'm going to go that way. And you walk that hill and you get this eerie feeling as you walk into the fog, which goes up and above you. You walk down lower, you get to the lake, and you can see over there's a church, and the church is in a canyon or crevice. There's gravestones and other things around. The whole thing changes. Now, obviously, we need a hell of a lot of work to make that actually shippable, but I think we're going to open up some playtests for that soon. So if you are asking Flip, if you are in there, keep an eye out, keep coming back, because we are going to announce something soon for people to go into the Flip, and those who go in Flip get access to the preview to give us some feedback. Join our Discord and tell us where we're going right, where we're going wrong, what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, and it's massively early days. It is still the cycle of
years away.
Yeah, the cycle of developing game is long. It is long, and it is weary, and it is challenging and exciting. And you'll suddenly have a period where you've got this massive amount of progress, and you think, "What we're going to be done in no time," and then you'll hit that block, and it'll be months and months and months waiting for one little thing to come through, or some blocker hasn't worked, or some bug's been going in. So it's frustrating and it's challenging, but I think
we're further ahead with this one, aren't we? Because so many things were done with the Flip we couldn't do anything with earlier because it just wasn't there. But because of the fact that we did that with the Flip, now making Eclipse is this very different experience, and we're able to actually start so much further up with playable content.
All those foundations there. Yeah, a lot of content that got cut from the Flip. It's still there in the wings. That's content both in terms of features, in terms of assets, in terms of playability. We've got the foundation of this really solid tech that that's been tested in Infiniverse for years now, that's been added on with the Flip, that's been pulled apart and really robustly looked through. So we're really building this from the bottom up in this great toolkit that we've now got.
And nobody's done this yet. So, on the MetaQuest, big open world co-op shooter is not something that we've seen done at this scale. We've seen games that have, large open world areas, but nothing at the scale that we're talking about. I think I did some tests that we worked out that we're looking at something. If you took the whole landmass of Hawaii and doubled it, it's going to be at least that big. So basically 2 Hawaiis, not one of the islands, all of the islands clumped together and then doubled. That's the sort of scale that we're looking at, potentially bigger than that, but at least at that size is the minimum. And it's going to be a really cool experience.
Yeah, I think that's FTL all along. We ahead of our time in what we are, but Multiverse I think is a pretty groundbreaking thing. We've got Infiniverse, groundbreaking app we had there. The Flip pushes those barriers even more with what we've done with these missions and the generation of the world and the social interactive drop in drop out play. And Eclipse again is then going to be just this kind of yet another step forward. So do stick with us, folks. This is exciting stuff. We've got what we need to make this absolutely brilliant. We just need you to let us know how brilliant it is.
and basically get people in, because the more people that come into the flip, the more people that can join the playtest for Eclipse, the more feedback we'll get, the better it'll be. We want people in there, we want you guys playing, we want the feedback, and it's going to be a fun journey as we start.
Indeed. As I said, just don't apply yet. We're not opening for testing yet. Do join Discord. So head over to Discord, which is written down there. That's the Multiverse Discord. There's also the Flip one. If you go into the lobby of the Flip, there's the Flip Discord channel, or anyone on the Multiverse one will also point you in the right direction. So join up there. That's the place to get all the inside chat with us, with the rest of the dev team, and be the first to know when we're calling out for playtesters and any other feedback. So do stay tuned, keep your eyes open, and we will let you know as soon as anything is ready.
Is it time to get cooking, is the question.
Time to get cooking?
I don't know, I'm concerned that we're eating up an hour out of people's Thanksgiving.
I see what you mean. Well, yeah, it's certainly time for me to go. I've got stuff to do. Don't know about you.
No, I'm definitely going to be virtually eating turkey all night long, having virtual fights with virtual family, and keeping all the good stuff to the real family.
Thanksgiving spirit.
That's it. But on that note, it's been absolutely great for another year with you guys. We're coming up to the end of this one. Not completely done yet, but getting close.
Don't even think we've got a lot coming out in December. So next week, I think we'll be having some more info on that. So do tune in next week, as hopefully at the same time, same day. But do check the schedules, because things are unfortunately with these live stuff want to change last minute. But yeah, Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy yourselves. Have a great day. Eat lots of fruit and see you in the flip.
Devcast, hugging you into the future, where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet game. Your direct access to the future right here, right now. Where verse meets meta, where meta meets verse, where gamers meet devs, where devs meet game. Your direct access to the future right here, right now.